It has been a minute since I have cast a game of Mayans, but I figured I'd give it a chance. You know, a lot of people came to this channel because I played a lot of Mayans. So I was watching Lewis, because he's what's usually on when I'm watching streams. Lewis, and here's a game of his against XuanLu, or maybe said better, it'd be XuanLu. He's a Chinese player, right, and obviously top 100, just like Lewis is. So two very high-rated players here. And, of course, it's a Mayans Goths. One of the most interesting matchups in the game, I believe. You know, Huskarls are, in theory, you know, a counter to everything Mayans can make. And then Goth militia line should be superior to anything Mayans can make as well, because you get the discount, you get champions. The only edge that Mayans have with their militia line is they get full upgrades on armor, but that doesn't make too much of a difference when you have, you know, a 35% discount and 10 extra population space in Imperial. So in green is Lewis. He's from the United Kingdom, right? He's a British player. Very high rated. He's beaten Hera plenty of times, beaten a lot of high name players. And then this player, the Chinese player, right? I'm going to avoid saying the name to butcher it, so I'll just refer to this as the Mayans player. But you see, we're sort of standard build order so far. In fact, we're going to speed up through the Dark Age a bit. Get this moving along to the action. Obviously, we're going to see deer pushing from both players, is what it looks like. Usually, you'll sometimes, not usually, but sometimes you'll see the American Civ players going forward with the scout. Because if you can engage the scout in the Dark Age, you will win, right? Pretty common knowledge here. But the Chinese player, the Mayan player, is doing what I like to do, and that is go push deer with the scout instead. It's good to have all that extra food. Plus, your boars will last longer, and your deer will last longer as Mayans, so you get a lot of food from it. So totally worth it in my mind as Mayans to push the deer. It also makes sense maybe not to drush against Goths, because Goths have a very good militia as well. With, I think it's 20% discount in the Dark Age. Becomes 25 feudal, 30 in castle, 35 imperial, if I'm not mistaken. So very good bonuses. And like has been said, this is the most interesting matchup in my mind. Hindustani's Mayans is just a little too one-sided to be so interesting to me. And I don't see a drush from either player, actually. We have 20 pop for Lewis as the Goths, 21 for Mayans. So we do have an extra villager, but there is a little bit of idle TC from Lewis, so that's why there's such a big discrepancy here in timing. So Mayans in red, Goths in green, let's not forget. Uh-oh, we're gonna lose it. A lot of idle TC. And we do lose the scout. So let's see what, we're going to slow it down here now that we're getting to feudal age. Let's see what we can see as red. So we've pushed the deer. We pushed, I believe, 3 deer. This is a different herd, so to speak. Wow, really small walls here. Walling to the TC. It's interesting, not even just walling off here. We're completely walling to the TC. The idea behind that, right, being to prevent scouts from crossing over here, or even archers for that matter. Mayans obviously have loom immediately, and Goths get it instantly too. So I think you actually end up with the same villager advantage for both players. Sort of an interesting part about this. They're like so similar but so different, these two civs. Okay, we're going for a scout rush because we're Lewis. Not a drush into scouts or anything like that. Lewis loves just going straight archers or straight scouts. Tries to avoid drushing is what it seems like whenever I watch him play. And then obviously no drush from the Mayans player either, which you would wisely choose. We have not scouted that, but it's... We only see... if there's 2 scouts? Yes, we do see 2 scouts. So obviously it makes sense to be making all these spears. And we've had 1 death so far. That's just that 1 eagle that came down here. So a little bit of idle TC from both. Nothing significant. Let's zoom in here. So Yeah, we're gonna have archers against scouts, classic, and fletching, of course, right away. 10 on wood is a nice amount for Mayans. Don't need too many. I like to do 11 or 12 just so I'm never, you know, worried about buildings. And I think you could have gotten the archers out a little bit faster as well. Oh, we don't go for the villagers there. Here we go, now we're fighting. Spears right there. Okay, he gets away safely. And there's an archer and a spearman in here. So a bit of both players harassing and feudal. This is what we would anticipate at this level. Oh, Lewis is going to lose a villager, it looks like. Oh, one archer. Wow, getting just one archer forward is crucial. And also painful, but it also is so cheap for mines that you don't have to worry if you lose it so much. Not on gold at all. Only eco upgrades for Lewis, so we're trying to get to Castle Age sooner is our play here. But not having a skirm or two earlier is a bit of a mistake, I think. You know you're playing Mayans, you've got to be ready for that. Instead, all of our scouts are at home, playing defense. A bit of a mistake. And then these guys, I don't know, I don't love making too many spears against American civs. I'll make one or two just to scout. Probably even just one. And here we go again. Has Lewis seen them? I don't think he has. Oh, we're running away. 5 scouts. This should be enough to engage. I would attack straight on the spear. Wisely done. Well played. And an eagle. It's very interesting. We've made 2 eagles in Feudal Age. Not something I typically do, but it's understandable why you'd want to do it, especially since, you know, skirms are coming. But Lewis was wise to have these at home. Cleaned up everything. Gives him a far superior kill-death ratio. And we see those eco upgrades coming into here. You need some extra on wood because you don't have horse collar. Horse collar... Ooh, a bit of a mistake. You would not think horse collar as a wood upgrade, but it is. By getting horse collar, you're also upgrading your wood output because you need to reseed less often, so you're saving wood. So horse collar is like a secondary upgrade for wood. Let's see what's going on here. We see those, but we're coming forward, so we're making a preemptive tower. Very interesting. Market, we're going to... we don't have any stone to sell. So that's interesting indeed. We're probably going to be selling wood. I would just be making extra farms here, personally. But because you don't have horse collar, it maybe makes sense to go for the market. No upgrades at all for Lewis here on these skirms. Not even armor. I would go for armor first, typically. And this is hard to deal with this army unless you get fletching or padded armor. But Lewis is all walled up, so it's no big concern here. Obviously the concern is that the wood line's going to be attacked, which is what it looks like Mayans are going for here. We do have a hole here if Lewis were to slip around. And we're going to be fully walled, big walls for Goths player. I like the idea, as Goths you want to play for a late game. It's typically a superior against any civ, not even necessarily just Mayans. You want to have a late game because you get that 10 extra pop space. Your units are so cheap you can just spam, not even worry about it. Okay, this eagle is actually doing a lot of work. Very interesting. Taking care of this, wow, it just barely lives with 1 HP. This is going down. So that's 2 villagers for that Lewis has lost. We know those are coming. I think it would have made sense to run them away sooner. We don't pull that one away either. Our skirms are a bit out of place here. All our attention right here. We're going to lose another vill. Ouch, that's 4 villagers lost. 3 right there. 1, 2, 3, that is. So that's significant, right? We've had some idle TC from Mayans, and wow, we're up to castle sooner. Yeah, that's impressive indeed. Very impressive, especially losing that 1 vill earlier on is so costly. The earlier you lose a vill, the more costly it is. And also going for scouts is very food intensive. Yeah, you see the only food units we've made here are spears. And the eagles are pretty cheap on food as well. Spears are more costly on food than skirmishers. Skirmishers are more wood and a little bit of food. Spears are a lot of food and a little bit of wood. Sort of makes sense, right? If you think of archers, you think of wood. You think of units from the barracks, you think of food. That's a lot on gold. We're probably going for some extra ranges here. We have 2 at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised to see a 3rd in a second. We have fletching now, finally. This tower is going to stop a lot of Lewis's ability to harass the gold. So a pretty wise tower. Even if we're behind on stone, we won't be able to drop our second TC right away. That's okay. Oh, I've got the Chinese replay. I'm only now realizing. Yeah, this is going to be crossbow bodkin very soon, with some eagles to support it. A very hard combo to break. These guys can deal with skirms, so you typically want a lot of skirms to deal with these, but the eagles will deal with your skirms. Okay. Armor coming in, elite skirm now. This makes sense. And we do have a second TC. Looks like we bought the stone. This is going to be broken very quickly here. 25 seconds. We still have a long time for this to come in. We need some knights or something for the eagles. Let's see. What can you see? We see all these skirms. We see they're not upgraded, but there's also some knights in. Lewis is adding a couple of knights here. A tense moment, I would feel. Okay, now I think is a good time to wall up again. Housed. No? What was that about? Why was there such a... That's a lot of idle eagle right there. Aha, there we go. There we go. What can we see? We see them. We're not too worried about it. We've got them in a corner now. Eagles should lose to knights one-on-one. However, if you micro it well, you can come out the victor on either side. 1 gold, actually 2 gold units here. Second TC for Goths, 3rd for Mayans. And we're going to have an economy lead here. Quite the lead. 700 more resources collected as well. But Lewis has the edge on kill death. And we are heavy on gold. Fortune on gold. Still 2 ranges. I suppose part of that's to pay for the eagles. Wasteful. This whole wood line here is not being touched by Lewis. Had that been scouted, you would be able to do a lot of damage. Come around, push him off this wood. There's this other wood line is right here. You could even tower that or something and really just push your enemy off wood, which you definitely don't want to lose wood when you're playing as Mayans. Okay, this army's looking pretty scary, but Lewis is ahead, or so far behind in resources collected. It doesn't look good for Goths. Now, Mayans, in my mind, are the ones who want to push the attack here. I would be trying to boom as much as possible if I'm Goths. Wall up, maybe stone walls. Get to imp quickly, in my opinion. You also want to try to keep Mayans off stone. If you can keep them to fewer castles, that would be ideal. We have a forward stone for Mayans. Forward stone for Goths. Actually, we've got one protected. Very nice for Goths. But this is outside the walls. Mangonel now. Trying to deal with these skirms. Can't really approach any of this army with just archers. And you don't want to spend the resources for Eagle Warrior very much either. University now, a very wise choice. Better than going for a market, I think. Same price of wood. But you will need this later on anyways, because you'll want ballistics. Yeah, Lewis should be able to see that that's been chopped a lot. 25 on gold. We are going crazy. Handcart is in sooner, or sorry, wheelbarrow's in sooner for Lewis. But man, the resources collected is getting out of hand. 14 villager lead. These guys don't have to walk far at all. Most of these units are villagers are really close to the town center. I'd say Lewis's farms aren't placed as well as Mayans. Okay, Lewis is going for his own siege. Not a bad choice, but not personally what I would do here. I think that would be a mistake by me, probably. And you've got the hill especially, so one shot from the Mayans' mangonel will not kill yours, but one shot from your mangonel will kill. Take it out. Yep, that's good. Oop, there is a second mangonel there. Some important micro right here. Wow, quick pop out of the TC to repair. Very smart, and you lose your mangonel because you're not on the hill. Fire ground, trying to catch the micro. Monks. Goth monks don't get redemption. This may be a questionable decision. Yeah, I don't know about monks here. That's a lot of gold you're spending that could be spent elsewhere. I would continue to make mangonels for sure, though. If you can get some hits on here, that'll be ideal. This is to heal up units, I see. Why 2? Are we going for the relics now? Is that what's going on? No relics for either player so far. And 4th town center for Lewis, so now we're really trying to catch up in villagers. This is not enough skirmishers. And this one's gonna get away. Oh, it's not repaired at all. Still a better kill-death ratio for Lewis. But this is looking pretty good for Mayans here. Look at this resource collected. Still, gap's been closed a little bit. Still a lot though. And Lewis's army is actually more valuable. Okay, 2 monks. This one should be going around getting relics now. The rest is not doing anything. And this is concerning for Goths. You're going to have plumed archers, which are the unit you need to beat Goths. Destroying the siege workshop I like a lot. And we're getting lots of vision here. There we go, grabbing the relics, very good. Very good play for Goths right now. Get map control, grab relics. I don't love a forward monastery because you're just going to collect them all, and when it gets destroyed, it's going to be really easy for your opponent to grab them. My personal preference. Obviously, it's fine for pros because they do it all the time. I don't like it though. Alright, there's one relic. He's about to find the castle. Wow, some very quick micro. Not to lose it. Very good micro so far with these mangonels. Very impressive. This is going to be a problem though. I wonder how many we're going to snipe here. 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 villagers lost right there. It's not looking good in terms of economy. Here's right here. There's a prime opportunity for those knights. And these guys are just going to come marching in. We don't have anything defensive. University at home, I would have thought, wow, very quick thinking again. And we still somehow... Oh, we lose the villager. Just needed it to be worked on. Right now, I would send back to build to it. Double university. We're really trying to research text. This is a big investment here. We need something to protect these mangonels or it's going to be an issue. Wow, we've lost so many villagers. A little careless here sending these villagers back out. And there are the plumes. Great play. Harassing with the crossbows when you can. And plumes out when you have the time. Another castle. Yet we still don't even have our first out for Goths. Imp is on the way for both players now. Actually, I lied. There's a castle here. Oh no. Not good for the siege here. Micro could be a little better. I like to control-click 2 down, fire, then select the rest and fire again. That gives you sort of syncopation, or alternation in between your attacks with your mangonels. This guy's... We don't want the relic. We just want to pretend we have the relic. Ah, you clicked so close, Lewis. You just missed it. And this will be... Ah, there we go. We got it now. 3 relics. 1 here, and the other here. 0 relics for the Mayans player. Trebs are going to be out sooner. We're training from both castles. This will be a real problem, especially with the forward castle. Get the unique tech now before you lose that castle. That's a good plan. But unless we have Huskarls, we're not going to have a way to take out the siege. I'd be splitting here and trying to attack. These plumes are going to be all over. And we're going to have some weaknesses if these plumes can get around. Treb's out. These mangonels are sort of useless until we get siege engineers and onager. Even then, it's still too far to range those. Oh no, we're gonna lose these guys too. We're just a little too slow to get to Huskarls. And you see the player to get to the unique unit first usually in this matchup is the winner, is what it looks like. Oh, disaster. There go these mangonels. Eagle Scouts don't have as much bonus damage though as a warrior, but I like the play not to get the Eagle Warrior. The upgrade is just too expensive, and what's it gonna do for you against Goths? Okay, are we getting any more Trebs? We've got 3 now. 4th on the way. And a good forward castle here from Mayans as well. 12 villagers is not going to be enough. You need 6 per Treb is my understanding, so slowly over time we're going to lose this castle. And we're out of stone, we're not buying any. This castle is going down. And we have graciously collected relics. That's 6 more kills that these plumes have done. The plumed archer's raiding. It is so powerful. It's my favorite unit to raid with. And these mangonels are coming home. 12 is more than enough to one-shot vills. You only need 8 if they have plumed. Botkin, and we have Bracer. Now these are elites already, so they will have a lot of health. Huskarls in now, but they are not elite. These guys are going to take a lot of damage, and they lack 2 pierce armor that you would get. Big mangonel shot. Very good play. Still, it looks like Lewis is lost here. We're trebbing this down again, though. And here's the power of the plumed archers. You can so easily micro around and harass. They're cheaper than heavy cav archer, and they have no frame delay like heavy cav archer. This is looking over for Lewis. But, still, we're pretty equal in score. But so many villagers lost. We should have taken some time to secure our villagers with even towers or something. Been a little careless with those villagers. Okay, he deletes this castle to put him more forward. We are in trouble unless we can get more Huskarls out. Oh, and that's going to be lost. We see the castle, we know that tower's going down. 4 Trebs and plumes, this looks pretty unstoppable. We don't have nearly enough to deal with it. And we're going to lose a Treb, whereas Mayans have not lost 1 Treb yet. These look aimed at the town center. Chemistry's in. Not looking good for Lewis at all. I think the Chinese players played this to perfection, you know, 3 TCs into crossbows with some eagles to back it up. All ending in plumes. That is the end goal you want with Mayans against Goths. This castle is just going to be tread down. I don't like the positioning of this. I'd like it maybe here. You're trying to protect your economy a bit, but it's sort of lost, and you're just going to waste the stone. still have our 3 trebs. They're not doing anything. Maybe wise to move them over here to deal with these trebuchets. It's not looking good for Goths. And Lewis calls it. Honestly, you may be better off just going Cavalier against plumed archers, because they'll be doing only 3 damage a shot. And you will be able to run them down because you get husbandry and bloodlines as Goths. And it doesn't look like we've got any halberdiers or even any more barracks. We've only got our initial one. So would have probably been easier to tech into that and then switch to Huskarls at the end. We were just too slow to switch into Huskarls, I think, as the Goths player. And they're okay for raiding, but still they die to castles, even as the elite. And I think I'll have to do the math. 15 after chemistry and bracer, 10 pierce armor, 5 damage, and then elite Huskarl has 80? 70 hit points. So we would do 5 times 5, 25. 3 volleys will kill an elite Huskarl from a fully upgraded castle. And it looks like we are missing chemistry still. Nope, we've got it all. Plus 4 attack. Oh, that makes sense. 15. I was thinking it was 14 for some reason. So fully upgraded plumed archers, excluding armor. We have ballistics and thumb ring, I'm sure. So very good play from Mayans. Very textbook, you know. Very well played. Just a little careless with our villagers, you know. 49 villagers died to the Mayans raids, which, you know, archers are fantastic for raiding unless you've really secured your base down with either castles or towers. Knights will be more effective in general, but the thing about archers is you can just walk along and still get a ton of villager kills, right? Which we saw here. Some plumes here just decimated the villagers that were here, and as they were running back, they get picked off because plumes are fast and fire fast. And it looked, you know, just small walls to start. Don't spend a ton of time walling. Get your economy going as fast as possible. That's what happens when you don't wall. You just small wall instead. And the results are a lot more resources collected. Being careful with your villagers and just going straight into plumes is how you win this matchup. Let's look at the statistics. So military, a better kill-death ratio. More buildings destroyed. Larger army, this is too small, only 24, huh? Actually, those relics never got collected, interestingly enough. Ah, we destroyed the castle. We cancelled it so we could move the castle forward. That's really interesting. I probably would not have thought to do that, but forget the relics. Go for the initiative, you know. If you can drop this castle here, your trebs are protected, and you can attack everything on the front here. These will go down. These will all go down. And your trebuchets are protected. So that's a very wise move. A very interesting move, too. Let's go back to the statistics. More food collected. You do need more food for sure as Goths, and you need less as Mayans if you're going for plumed archers. Only thing you really need food for is upgrades and villagers. In fact, yeah, it looks like we switched into elite eagles as well. Those were coming in, which is very costly on food. If we hadn't gotten those eagle upgrades, I'm sure we'd be floating, you know, 3,000 wood food or so. Everything faster except for feudal time. That extra villager just pays off, you know. I was going 19 villagers myself as Incas, but your economy just suffers so much. Every single villager you make before feudal ends up adding so much value. They're working the whole time you're aging up, and aging up takes lots of time. Lewis with more villagers. We did see that, right? We had 4 town centers, as opposed to only 3 from the Mayans. And you don't need a ton of economy as Mayans. I like to get it, but you don't need it. And then APM I can't see. Alright, well, a very exciting matchup. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and Mayans Goths is always fun to watch. So thank you.